Hi, Fais. Welcome to BizTalk. It's my great pleasure having you with me today. How are you?
I'm good, Massimiliano. Thank you so much for having me here. Really excited for this session.
The pleasure is mine. So let's talk about a bit about yourself.
About a bit about myself. I'm Fais Fasil, CEO of Irish Tech Society. I came to Ireland in 2017 to do my MBA. So my MBA in cloud computing was finished in 2020. I'm the first person to do an academic research on the topic of GDPR and cloud computing in Ireland, which was then published by my college. Since my graduation, I started working on this project called, Irish Tech Society, which we will be talking about in a second. The basic idea was, while I was a student at DBS, I was also a member of the Computer Society in DBS for the students. Working with the president of the Dublin Business School's Computer Society, I understood the strength that you have when you're working with other people, when you have a better network. So the idea was, what if you could take all these small, societies from all these colleges and universities, bring it together on a national level, which then gives you the Student Council of Ireland, but then don't stop there, maybe plug it right into the industry with the working professionals and make sure that there's a lot of opportunities for people like myself, who was a graduate back then, to network with the people in these different companies like Microsoft and Google and Apple, and interact with them directly, create a platform for that. So that was the basic idea, and we started setting up meetups all around Dublin. The first session was at IBAC College Dublin, which was aimed for 20 people, but there were about 150 people, and it was a house full. We had to move locations 3 times on the same day to accommodate everyone. And people were still standing at the back of the room, no seats left. But the reception, the reception and feedback was amazing. So it gave us more fuel to do more. And the second session was at the National College of Ireland, where we did a workshop on personal branding, which was also house full. So they called us back to go back to their campus again. We did another workshop in a startup hub called Dogpatch Labs in Dublin, which was also a huge success. And then we began to get all these calls from universities and colleges, from all over Ireland, calling us to go to their campus and talk to their students. But then COVID happened, So when COVID happened, at that stage, all that momentum that we've built up, we were able to have 500 members in the first 3 weeks of setting up Irish Tech Society, and 21 volunteers, people who were like, yeah, we want to give back to the society we are in, we want to do something to build us up. So we said, okay, COVID is going on, we can't do any events. Let's go back to the whiteboard and brainstorm and come up with some ideas on, how we can do this. What did we do right? And what did we do wrong? And why is there this momentum? So the one thing we identified after months of research, talking to a lot of industry experts and scholars and, career coaches and people from different universities, colleges, the one thing we identified is that there's a huge demand for one-to-one support in the tech sector among individuals. Technology is evolving at a speed that we can't keep up with. Now, even if you just look at basic streaming service like Netflix, it's now 4K. It's going to be 8K in the next couple of months' time. Streaming services are evolving at a speed we can't keep up with. And then there's all these working professionals in these companies who are not able to keep up with the technologies. They need more time to focus on themselves. So the idea was to be there for them, give them opportunities to advance in their career, make sure that they're not alone. If they need a support, if they need some kind of help in their career or their education, a point that they can go to. If they have a problem, pick up the phone, call Irish Tech Society and talk to us, and we'll be there to help you. That was the idea. Now we have 1,200 active members, 91 advisors and ambassadors across the globe. The team size is still growing. We registered as a non-profit, a company limited by guarantee in Ireland in July 2020. We've already done a lot of events this year alone. During the lockdown, on an online basis, we did 25 workshops. with about 50, 60 people attending each of these workshops. We did these workshops with people like, director of recruitment from Microsoft Europe, global director of staffing and recruiting, LinkedIn. Like the profiles of the speakers that we had who gave their time voluntarily is amazing.
May I ask, which are the main topics?
We like as a platform that focuses on the people, we try to cater for different demographic of people. Like, there are students, graduates, job seekers who are interested in personal branding, professional networking. So we were doing career branding workshops every Monday, 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. We were doing professional networking sessions every Thursday, 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m., which is now stopped because of COVID. We are just, trying to do it on a physical basis and also make it available online, which will be hybrid. And then there are workshops that are coming up now. We are actually in the process of setting up our workshop series with certified e-badges, right? So workshop, for example, which we are planning now in leadership, we'll have 5 workshops. And these are for CEOs, directors, co-founders, and also entrepreneurs who are interested in furthering themselves.
I can apply.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So these workshops, the 5 sessions, to give you an idea, would be communication skills, negotiation skills, business presentation skills, people management skills. So each of these sessions will give them an e-badge that they can put on their LinkedIn. Okay. And if they do 5 workshops and if they have 5 e-badges, then they get an e-certificate that they can display on their LinkedIn. Each of these workshops, the fee ranges between €399 to €1,000 per session, depending on how many number of people are in the room, depending on the speaker. We are actually planning a workshop now with Alan from one of the top technology companies in Ireland, Imedis. It's a €500 million company, and he's managing hundreds of people on a daily basis. So we're planning to do a workshop on how to do project management, IT project management with multiple teams at the same time. What are the do's and don'ts? And that workshop is €500 to attend, and it's only for 10 people. It's very exclusive content. And then you can schedule one-to-one sessions with the speaker as well. Now, if you are not job seekers or students or graduates, and if you're not on the CEO director level, and if you're like, let's say, a mid-level employee in a company who's interested in advancing your career or want to switch from one job to another or enter into tech industry from a different industry, there are different programs available for you. But everything we do, we always try to put the people at the center of everything, to make sure that what we are doing is affordable, what we are giving them is quality over quantity. And if you're someone who can't afford any of these workshops, there are also free workshops, on a weekly basis. You can get advices and mentorship from our ambassadors and advisors. You can also shadow our team members. You don't have to do any job, but you can shadow our team members and observe and get a feel of what it is like to be in the tech sector, in a startup or in a company. We work with digital hubs and innovation centers where we create opportunities for our members to walk into one of these places, find a startup, find an employee in that startup as your mentor, sit with them for a week or 2 to get a feel of what's a 9-to-5 in a tech company. And if you come back to us and say, hey, this is great, I want to be in the tech sector, this is the job I want to do, we will have resources available for you to learn further. We are not trying to sell courses. We are not creating online courses where you study yourself. Everything we do is on a workshop basis with e-badges and micro credentials. So you will be learning it live with a scholar or an industry expert. So that's our model.
I do like it. Actually, I love it. How do you interact with the startup ecosystem, for example, in Ireland?
With startups, we haven't started our startup membership platform yet, but the workshops we are planning to do now, there are multiple workshop series that are coming up for startups, but also we have our second annual international hackathon coming up in February, which is also for startups. Like, if you're a tech startup and if you have a team of 7 people who are really good when it comes to technology, that includes programmers, marketers, business analysts, data analysts, you can come and participate and you can win up to 10,000 euro in cash prizes. The first one we did was with Microsoft and GAA. GAA is the world's largest amateur sport organization. With, like GAA is like, how to say this? GAA is one of the most essential part of every Irish individual's life, right? GA is the glue that sticks the whole community together in Ireland. So we did our first hackathon with them. It was a first for them because as a sport organization, one of the largest amateur sports in the world, entering into the tech sector, with a hackathon and interacting with the startup community it was new for them in that space. And it was the holy trinity when it comes to technology. It's a trifecta between Microsoft, Irish Tech Society, and GA. It was a huge success. We had the government chief whip, Jack Chambers-Steely, doing the keynote speech. President of GA, John Horan, doing the inauguration. We had lots of representatives from Microsoft, Ireland, and UK and Europe. It was a successful event. So just following up on that success, next February, we are doing the hackathon on the topic no more pandemics. We're trying to provoke thought and innovation, among startups and also tech individuals to create solutions potentially that will help us prevent future pandemics. And if we have a good idea, Irish Tech Society will further develop it and make it available to public on an open source platform.
Oh, that's great. That's absolutely. I mean, working for the people, and it's
Absolutely
always great. But let me say, technology is everywhere, and what you're doing is absolutely good for the people. It's good for the society, not only for Ireland. So, where the people coming to your workshop? Where are they based? Only in Ireland or
No.
Europe? Where?
No, even though we are called Irish Tech Society, we are an international technology society focused or established in Ireland. We have members from South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, Canada. We have attendees in each of our workshops and sessions from Canada and South Africa and all these different parts of the world, which is interesting to see, because we never expected to have reach in these countries. And when they join and say, well, we love Ireland, we love these workshops. Like, yeah, that's great. We didn't know what scale it's going to be when we started. But yeah, to answer your question, we have international audience and attendees.
I mean, sometimes you scale up without even thinking, to scale up. Small.
Yeah.
And there's a friend of mine, he always told me, if you want to create a great company, don't think about scale up. Actually, do a very small one so you are very good in serving your community, okay? After, if you are good enough, you will scale up in any way.
Yeah.
Maybe you need more
Absolutely.
funds, but you will find people who give you the funds if you're good enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and also I have to mention, excuse me, the support that we are getting from other organizations in Ireland, especially Guinness. Like Guinness Enterprise Center called us and said, what kind of support we can give you?
We all love Guinness.
Yeah, everybody does. I am a Guinness man myself. But the thing is, they came to us and asked me, like, what kind of support we can give you? And I said, I'm looking for an office space for 2 people. This is in early 2020. And they gave me 2 office spaces for 12 people each, completely free for the next 3 years. So I have space for 24 people in Guinness Enterprise Center where we've established our HQ, and we haven't paid any rent, or any electricity or internet, and everything is given to us completely free. So we have to thank organizations like them. LinkedIn offered a space to do events. Microsoft offered a space to do events. Even Irish Computer Society, which was established in, I believe, in the 1980s, with thousands of members, without any ego or like competition, they came to us and said, let's collaborate, let's work together. And I think that's the strength as an organization established in Ireland that gives you more. Like, that gives you strength. Like it's pro collaboration. There's no.
Let me say you had the likeness to have big companies in Ireland. The big one, probably the biggest in the world, are there. So somehow, of course, if they want, they can give you a big help. Extremely.
Absolutely.
But I mean, you started from brick and mortar, and after you came to online, but now you can go back as well to having place where in live talk to the people. There's not only a web. How are you going to move now? What's your model now?
What's our model now? Like we have multiple revenue streams, if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah. Also, are you going to deliver your workshops? Because it can be done online, but it can be also done on venue.
So once everything starts to go back to normal, 100%, all of our workshops, all of our seminars, all the talks, everything will be available on a hybrid model, which means attendees can either attend the event physically in the Guinness Enterprise Center here. Okay. They've actually now done a 10 million euro expansion, adding 2 more floors. And the 4th floor is an event space. And they said, well, the space is here for whatever events you want to do. And please don't go anywhere else. Do all of your events here.
It's very free.
Yeah. So we have the event space, right? And also, like Ireland is a country that respects its artists and musicians, and we have entertainment, in everything we do. There must be some kind of musicians or bands doing some gig at each of these events. So if you're attending physically, you get to have food, drinks, enjoy, the music, the Irish music and everything, and also attend the workshop. But if you're joining from, like, let's say Canada or South Africa, you can attend the workshop, you can have a Q&A session, you can have a couple of minutes networking, which is online. But yeah, there's a huge difference, attending an event physically and online.
I mean, are you going to move your model to other countries? Say, are you going to have Irish Tech Society in Asia, in Latin America? I mean, is something that you're thinking about? Move your concept outside, although you already have attendee from everywhere. But I'm talking about probably moving your concept there physically.
Absolutely. We will be opening Irish Tech Society, Singapore chapter, Australia chapter, US chapter, to give you an idea of how we are planning to do this, right? So some of the people that we have in our advisory board, Alex Seo from Singapore, he's the Director of Technology, Singapore National University. He's also an advisor in about 50 or 55 different organizations. He's also the first president of the Singapore Computer Society, first CEO in Singapore, first person to have the title CEO in Singapore. And, coming from that background, coming from the Computer Society background in Singapore and being the first president, he brings a lot of, expertise and knowledge and skills to the table, same as all the other people, all these other advisors from different parts of the world, which makes it easy for us, right? The challenge that we have currently we are facing is funding. We are like the momentum is high, and we have the potential to scale up exponentially, but we don't have the funds to do that. So with the lack of funding, we are losing that opportunity. The momentum is building up, but as a non-profit organization, there are some limitations, right? We were approached by lots of different investors who wanted to invest. But the problem is, as a CLG in Ireland, a company limited by guarantee, you cannot have investors. So we are now going back to the whiteboards again, brainstorming. And the idea that we have now is to open or register subsidiaries under Irish Tech Society as limited companies, so that those limited companies can be open for investment. One of the other advisors we have, Abdullah Hassan from Kuwait, he's also one of the members of the World Angel Investment Forum, and has lots of VC funds under him. So he's really interested in coming on board, especially in the education side. And this was in 2020, and we were like, no, we are a non-profit organization, we can't have investments, but now we are regretting it because we never expected to be here this fast, but with some funding behind us, we could be scaling further.
I mean, you can always adjust your business model and move forward, right? Doesn't mean you need to
Yeah.
be where you are today. You can change everything and move.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think you can always find a way, always.
Absolutely.
So if you
Absolutely.
need funding, you just need to find a way to get funded. And if the people already offer you the funding, just give them somewhere where to fund you.
Absolutely.
And I do believe, because I mean, you already had such a huge network and people already following your organization. So it would be a shame if you can't move forward and bring your concept everywhere, because everywhere is needed.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you look at our website isn't even complete yet, you know, because we don't have time to sit down and do our website. We're doing so much other things. And these are the kind of things that can change with the funding, you know, with more funding, you can have more team members. I currently have the 91 people around the world as advisors who are giving me 20 hours per year minimum on a non-profit or pro bono basis. But some people even have done more than hundreds of hours, like, you know, on pro bono basis. And then I have volunteers. I have over 45 volunteers who signed up this summer, who's also working completely free as a pro bono basis. But if I have funding, I could hire full-time managers, you know, hire full-time in-house developers who can give us more advantage when it comes to technology and infrastructure, technological infrastructure, I mean. But you know, we weren't able to do it because of the structure of the company, non-profit organization. Excuse me. These are some of the things that we hope to change, you know. And like you said, you can always find a way. You know, as entrepreneurs, it's
Absolutely.
problem solving, right?
We are problem solver, right? If you are an entrepreneur, that's your first skill. You need to get
Yes.
around and find a way.
Yeah, absolutely. We also have some large events coming up, like, you know, mega events. Some one of the biggest event we are planning is going to be the biggest in Ireland's history. Hopefully, I'm not going to tell more about it now, but if anyone's interested in getting involved with Irish Tech Society, we have lots of opportunities open for investment and for investors and for philanthropists, you know, who would like to write a check and help us go a bit further. There are lots of opportunities for personal branding and, you know, more networking. So
Let
let me
me
know.
ask, where would you see your company, right? Where are you going to be in 5 years' time?
Where am I going to? Sorry.
Yeah, what's your vision for the next 5 years? Where are you going to be with Irish Tech Society in
Um,
2027?
yeah. So the vision for Irish Tech Society is to become the home of all the tech talent in the world by the year 2025. And I'll tell you how. In 2023 or 2024, we are aiming for 2023. We will be doing the big event called Tech Nights Festival, which is a 12 days long event with the concept. The concept is international conferences, you know, like we talk about Web Summit, Tech Summit, all these conferences. But how about if you take these kind of conferences, you know, not those conferences specifically, but international conferences, shopping festivals like Black Friday, Dubai Shopping Festival, and then music festivals like Tomorrowland Music Festivals, the carnivals like Rio de Janeiro carnivals, hackathons, gameathons, you know, esports sessions, drone wars, robo wars, all that kind of stuff, everything under one roof. If you can do that, you know, and if you can bring in thousands of people to that event, the main aim is not to sell the tickets, but to show them the strength of Irish Tech Society and convert them into actively interacting members. Now, we are working on this project, and there's a lot of support from the government here, the Tourism Ireland, Convention Bureau, City Council. City Council is after now issuing a €30,000 feasibility study grant. They're running the feasibility study 100% to see the viability of the concept. And if that concept is approved, it's a minimum €50 million project, you know. And I'm not picking numbers from the air. There's lots of research and financial analysis done already on this. Now, these kind of events will give us a boosting, right? These are the events that's going to put us on the map, on a global map. And then the workshops that we are doing, the events we are doing, our events calendar for next year is is massive. It's overwhelming for anyone to look at it. Like, we have 148 online events scheduled. That is 2 events every week and monthly events, bi-monthly events. So there's a lot going on. We've already sat down with lots of companies for sponsorship. We've sat down with 3 of the top 10 companies in the world, who wants to become founding partners of Irish Tech Society. We are still in talks with them. Don't want to spoil the names, but there's a lot happening. So yeah, to answer your question, in the next 5 years' time, by the year 2025, the vision is to become the primary point of support for anyone, anywhere in the world in the tech sector. If you have a problem, if you need advisors, if you need support, pick up the phone, call Irish Tech Society, and we'll be there to help you or support you. That's the vision.
Fais, thank you very much to coming to talk to me here in BizTalk. It's been a very great pleasure for me having you. And I think I'm coming to support your organization as well.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And also thank you so much for this opportunity to talk to your audience and BizTalk. Really appreciate it. We appreciate all the support that we can get. As I've explained, we are a very small organization with a lot of ambition, and we have to.
We all start small.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for the support.
Hope to see you in Dublin as soon as possible, as now seems we can start traveling a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We'll be happy to host you here. And anyone who wants to come over, welcome to Ireland.
Thank you, Fais. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
You too.